Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Crossblitz. Today I will be fighting the dinosaur deck in the Starscape Plains again, just as I did yesterday. I did win that battle with Sono Sid, however I did not manage to get an S rank, which is the goal for the series for all of the bosses. Um, so yeah. I'll be trying again, and I figured this time I'm gonna try playing Ziggy Stardust. And there are a couple of reasons why I think that Ziggy might do well against that particular boss. So let's go over Ziggy's kit a little bit. He's in the yellow faction, built around this glimmer mechanic. So Glimmer is a resource generated by certain cards, like Glimmer, um, or the Glimmer Gearbot, or certain relics. And when you have accumulated a certain amount of Glimmer, you can spend that for extra effects. Those are called splurge effects. So the Ziggy Stardust, for example, has Splurge. When you play him, return this to your hand. So his signature card, 2 mana 2/2, so vanilla stats, and when played, deals 2 damage to an enemy. But if you do have extra Glimmer saved up, he returns to your hand so you can play it again. So if you have, say, 10 mana and 10 Glimmer, you can play him 5 times and deal 10 damage across the board to the enemy hero. And yeah, I think that this is gonna be the central win condition I'll be playing around. So on this map in particular, there is an event where you can give a minion a played effect, give 3 Glimmer when played. Those played effects that you get from trinkets do happen after the card effect itself, so it would not trigger Ziggy Splurge immediately. You would need another outside source, but once you get those initial 2 Glimmer, you can play it, generate 3 Glimmer, spend 2, get it back into your hand, and if you have the mana, play it over again. So if you can get some mana reduction on this, you can increase the amount you play this even more. And in fact, it's actually possible to get 2 mana reduction trinkets. So there is the mana drop, which just reduces the cost of a 2-cost minion by 1, 2 cost or higher, to be specific. And then there are the forearm guards, which reduces the mana cost and stats by 1, but unlike the mana drop, does not have any cost restrictions. So if you get the mana drop first, you can get the forearm guards and reduce the cost down to 0. And then your final trinket slot will be spent for those generate 3 Glimmer, and then you basically have an infinite going with this, if you can just get Glimmer in hand. I think it's unlikely that I'll get all of the necessary trinkets, but yeah, just because it's 2 uncommon trinkets that I need to see, and it's also quite expensive to put 3 trinkets on 1 minion. But this is like sort of the ideal plan, and even if I don't get like both mana reduction trinkets, if I only get 1, that's still up to 10 plays in 1 turn, which is 20 damage, which can definitely be enough to finish the game. So yeah, for his starting deck, there's also the Gobblegum Whelp, which can spend Glimmer to gain extra stats every turn. Can get pretty dangerous if you have a reliable way of generating Glimmer. That can be difficult, but you've got the Glimmer Gearbot, for example, who gives you a Glimmer per turn. if you give this inanimate and some other bulk upgrades, that can be a pretty consistent way of getting extra glimmer. Then there's also the bulk blaster, which will be very important against this boss in particular. So the boss is gonna play some very big dinosaurs late into the game, and the bulk blaster can transform any minion into a 1/1 Clucky. So no matter how much HP the enemy has, it just boom, you're a chicken now. And it has a very cheap splurge effect. If you have just one glimmer, you get this back into your hands. You can play this over and over again. Yeah. Alternatively, there's like the doubloon, which gives you a pirate minion and gives you some glimmer, like at most 5, because that's the cost restriction. But yeah, still. Alright card. There's also the gold swig, deals damage to enemy minions, and yeah, if you get enough glimmer, you deal 4 damage, which is pretty good. Although splurge 3 is kind of difficult to get. I think most of the time you'll be getting 2 glimmer in one turn at most. So yeah, this. I don't particularly like this card. And then there's the Emporium Custodian. When you cast a spell, add glimmer to your hand, which is notably not the resource, but you get the card glimmer, which gives you the resource glimmer, but also draws you a card. So yeah, this kind of relies on your opponent having spells most of the time, although you can combine it with like a poison deck, where you force the enemy to play spells, and then those spells will, the poisons played by the enemy will convert into extra draw and resources for you. So there is a certain type of deck that likes this, but most of the time it's kind of inconsistent in how much utility you get out of it. And then there's quite an important part of Ziggy's kit, which is the ultimate. Once you play 5 minions, pretty easy ultimate to get. You bank 7 glimmer and draw a card with splurge. So that splurge card is ideally gonna be Ziggy Stardust, who's gonna be the game ender. But you also get a bunch of glimmer you can use for more expensive splurge cards that I might pick up later down the line. So there is one particular minion that splurges 7 to steal an enemy minion, which against a deck with big dinosaurs can be a big board swing. Also, 7 glimmer can also just be a lot of extra sustain, because you got the ritzy trousers, which converts glimmer that wasn't spent into armor. That's the same relic that the second boss on this map has. It's pretty cool relic, because yeah, that can give you a lot of survivability. It also means that you don't have to worry about yeah, actually spending the glimmer during your turn. Like if you get it, it's still not wasted if you don't have any splurge cards in hand. Yeah, so as for which starter deck I'll be going for, so I think that glimmer is basically a must. It's a bit dangerous to have for the first fight, because it basically cuts down your deck to like 5 cards. So in the first fight, before you added any extra cards, it's very possible to deck yourself. But it has a very good upgrade. If you give this +1 draw, it's draw 2 on a 0 cost. That's pretty incredible. Gobblegum Whelp is definitely pretty strong early on. Although ideally I want to avoid having those in the deck, so that they can't be targeted by the ultimate. Whenever I play this ultimate, it would only have a 1 in 6 chance to draw the Ziggy Stardust, and most of the time it will draw the combo gun well. I think I will put this in the deck still, just because if I have this long-term investment that doesn't really do anything early on, then I kind of need something to win the early fights. But I can just go to one campfire and remove it. And then for the final card, I think to guarantee getting the early ones, it's probably good to put in the Glimmer Gearbot. It's also tempting to get the Borg Blaster immediately, although the Borg Blaster won't be that important until the end of the game, basically, when I'm fighting the boss. And I think that having some Glimmer generation is gonna be kind of important. Ideally, the way you generate Glimmer is there's the High Roller Hat, which just gives you 1 extra Glimmer for each instance of Glimmer generation, and then there is the Scalped Ticket, which gives you Glimmer for the first minion you play each turn. So if you have those two, then your first minion in a turn will always give you 2 Glimmer, which is enough to activate Ziggy, for example. But yeah, even if I don't, even if I do find those relics, if I get the relic that gives me armor for each Glimmer, then this is still gonna be pretty useful. And since this is Ziggy's personal Elder Relic, the chance of seeing that Elder Relic is pretty high. So in terms of Elder or Relic bands, sorry, I'm gonna take the Vital Edge. This one's actually pretty good. For Ziggy, when you play a spell, do 1 damage to a random enemy minion. If I'm gonna generate a bunch of 0-cost spell cards, this can amount to a good bit of damage. I don't need to ban the Riptide Gutter anymore, because I'm not playing Sono Sid. Still don't like Cinder's Croc on this map. Not quite sure about Blood Bangles, maybe not. I'll bin the Rumble Ring though, because these are all non-yellow cards, so they'll all cost 1 more on this map because of one of the difficulty modifiers. I'm not actually sure if Ziggy has any secondary Elder Relic. There are a couple of mercenaries in the game right now that only have 1. So Lucky Coin is a neutral one, even though it looks like a Glimmer related relic. It's pretty good with the Glimmer deck, actually. Like, you can choose to get 2 Glimmers every turn, and you can buff those Glimmers. It also guarantees that you can that you have 2 Glimmer to spend every turn. So as a neutral relic, I'm not likely to see it, but it would be pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think there's any secondary Elder Relic for that guy. guess I can ban Golem Relics. It's like one of the secondary factions he's likely to pick up, since it's also a yellow card pool. So yeah, let's ban some Golem Relics. No blueprints, and no extra merging. And then for trinkets, I will ban +1 health again. +1 health is usually pretty useless, because minions that want extra bulk are uncommon or higher for the most part, so they prefer getting things like tough or +2 health, or barrier, which negates 1 instance of damage, and common minions usually don't care about +1 health. Sonos Sid, the minion I placed last time, is the exception. He has a lot of common minions. I think it's probably a balancing thing, because some of the minions would be broken if they were able to get uncommon trinkets. But yeah, I will unban forearm guards, of course, because I want to be able to combine this with mana drop for a 0-cost Ziggy. I think I'll ban Relentless this time. Yellow doesn't really have a lot of death rattles, or, well, there's the golden deck, but Ziggy specifically doesn't have any death rattle minions, so the revive on death, but add an extra cost to a card. It's not really what I want. And yeah, I think I'll keep flying. And I will unban Swift Strike. Swift Strike could be an alright way to make the Glimmer Gearbot more survivable, although inanimate would be preferable. Inanimate just means that the minion doesn't attack, but it also gives extra stats. And then I guess I'll ban Thorns as well. Thorns +2. Similar reasoning like +1 health. Just Thorns +3 would be preferable. It's a little bit better, like +2 retaliation damage on a common minion. Can be useful to get better trades against more expensive minions. But the only common minion like I have right now, the Gobblegum Whelp, has some good power scaling, and is gonna be removed at some point anyway. So yeah, I think I'm pretty happy about those. And gonna jump into the sea spot B. Alright, so event notes. There is a Hogwash Forge. You can get Hothead, a cannon summon, and extra pyro damage, extra pyro and draconic damage at this place. Extra pyro and draconic damage does not matter to yellow at all, as it's one of the few card colors that doesn't have that damage type at all. Like, red cards have a lot of pyro damage, purple cards have draconic damage, blue cards have pyro damage and frost damage. Yeah. Green doesn't have that many damage cards at all. Although the couple they do have don't have a damage type, and yellow damage cards also don't have a damage type. And there is the oddity shop where you can get that +3 glimmer for Ziggy. So that is a pretty good path. If I don't go to the first elite, I can go to the oddity shop. First elite is Dungeon Keeper, which is a very difficult fight. So I do definitely want to avoid that anyway. Especially for Ziggy. Ziggy's thing is like he's kind of a stall deck, like one of the control type decks. I'd say with things like the Borg Blaster and the Armor Gain, where your goal is to wait the enemy out until they run out of resources and then just either slowly chip them away or get to like one big win condition to wipe them out in one turn. Dungeon Keeper is extremely good at just generating infinite resources because of the Bloody Scalpel. He'll play like one Squid-Face Ruffian at some point. Very strong minion with a death rattle, and then he'll keep resummoning those with the Bloody Scalpel, and it's just very hard to keep up with that. So Dungeon Keeper, if you want to take him on, you either need an overwhelming amount of resources, like some rather quick scaling, or you need to have a some kind of aggro deck. Although even against aggro deck, he can fare pretty well because of like things like Stellar and Hellfire, some removal tools. So you kind of need to rush, and even then he'll have lifesteal. So it's Dungeon Keeper. There are decks that can do fine against him, but it's always a risk. On the second half, Glimmer Glow Casino is pretty good for Ziggy because he can get more Glimmer cards at that place. Can't have enough of those, but I can only go there if I fight the first elite, which I don't want to do. Yeah, and it's less important than the oddity shop, where you get the gain +3 Glimmer for Ziggy. So yeah, this just is good, but isn't mandatory. And my second elite would be Toxic Slime. So Toxic Slime jams the board with a bunch of Rotten Spores, and then he'll play like some flying minions. Although I guess only his elite version, the boss version, has those, because I'm not seeing his flying minions. Yeah. Well, this is the elite, so okay. Don't know if they changed the stack, but the way I remember him, he has like 2 flying minions that can fly over all those rotten spores. But I think I should do okay against him. He's annoying, but he isn't particularly difficult, and with Ziggy, I should only need one empty spot to finish the game, especially by that point. I've hopefully assembled my ultimate combo. No drivel on this map. Drivel is where you get the player spell, gain a 4 mana for damage lifesteal as a common trinket. That's pretty good for Ziggy Stardust with those cheap spells, but also definitely not mandatory. So main thing I want to look out for is trinket shops. I don't need to go to the Hogwash Forge. I can see 2 trinket shops in the first half over here. Get a campfire to remove my Gobblegum bulbs. Get the Glimmer Trinket. Go towards the Toxic Slime, where I can see 1 more trinket shop. Maybe a card shop. although yeah, like trinket shop, card shop, 2 campfires or 3 campfires and no card shop. Second half campfires can also be pretty good to clone a couple of Ziggies, or maybe clone 1 or 2 Bulk Blasters. So I'm definitely pretty happy about that map layout in total. I do need to see a couple of relic nodes. I can go to 2 relic nodes before I go to the oddity shop. I don't have a good mix of relic and trinket shops, unfortunately. Since I want to build around Ziggy, I kind of need both, because he relies on relics to get a reliable glimmer source, but then you need to get trinkets to buff the Ziggy. Well, in my first fight, either fight Golem Guy or Brown Tooth. I think Pirate Guy should be alright as a first fight. This guy, if he gets lucky with the blueprints from the junk bot, might get a bit annoying. This guy can get, of course, get some random pirates, but I think those will come into play later than the blueprints. So yeah, this is an alright hand. I can play a Gobblegum Whelp first turn, immediately get it buffed with a Glimmer. I can potentially remove something on turn 2, then play a Glimmer bot. Right, he doesn't block. That's fine by me. Yeah, that means if I pass turn, I deal 2 damage. If I keep my Ziggy Stardust, I should be able to remove whatever he gets in front of the Gobblegum Whelp. And yeah, no problem to get those 5 HP down for Ziggy with that extra face damage. And first card reward, I can get Mama Grub, which is a 6 mana 3/5 that summons a 2/2 flying, or if you have to glimmer a 4/4 flying that makes a legendary minion cost 1 less. That can actually matter quite a bit since Ziggy is a legendary minion. So if I get Grub and Ziggy Stardust in one hand, I only need 1 mana reduction for Ziggy Stardust to get the infinite off. All the gold swig is the board clear with Splurge, but Splurge 3 is a bit hard to get. Eve, that's the one I was talking about before. Splurge 7, gain control of an enemy minion. If you get it without Splurge, it's still just a destroy an enemy minion. That's pretty good. Like, you can get 7 Glimmer with the ult. So if you play it on an ult turn, you can just straight up steal a big minion. And if you don't play it with the ult, you still just get a 5 mana remove with a full body attached to it with flying as well. So there's the Bulk Blaster. If I want to have it right now with a Grub, Grub with Splurge 5, difficult to get, but playable with an ult. Adds a copy of each card you place last turn to your hand. That costs 1. So If I play this after I played a couple of Ziggies, like I play, let's say, 3 Ziggies on turn 6, I get a grub, I get 3 Ziggies that cost 1, and so for the next 3 turns I can play like 8 Ziggies, then 9 Ziggies, then 10 Ziggies. That's also one way to get that Ziggy. Yeah, out. Not quite infinite, but should be enough. Kill the enemy. And then neutral pack I don't care about. I guess Holden can actually be fine with Ziggy, because you have those 0 cost cards. Holden scales based on the amount of cards you can play in a turn. So I guess he's usable with Ziggy, but with those cards he's competing with, there's no way I'm gonna pick up the neutral pack. So I think I like the Mama Grub and Eve. Mama Grub is 1 cheaper than the Grub. So you basically just need to get her into the field, and while I have Ziggy in hand, if I find 1 mana reduction for Ziggy, that's lethal right then and there. And then Eve is just nice as a removal tool. Don't feel bad. I don't feel bad about leaving those Bolt Blasters behind when I get an Eve. And I'm sure I'll see a Bolt Blaster later on. Now, Tavern. I probably do need to pick up something, because I'm only getting to this trinket shop with 100 gold. I could, like, if I skip the tavern, I'll spend 100 gold here, so go to 0, get 100 here, so I can buy 1 common and 1 uncommon trinket over here. Then get 100 gold in this fight, 50 from this event node, and then have 150 for the oddity shop. 150 would be enough for Ziggy to get the glimmer relic, not relic, glimmer trinket, the +3 glimmer on plate. So yeah, I guess there is a path where I can skip the tavern and get enough money for 2 Ziggy buffs. Let's see. So got a katana deck, which is not very useful. I got an archer deck, which doesn't do anything for me, and I get another yellow deck. So weak could be alright. Main things I'm interested in is stab and grab, deal 2 damage to a minion, redeem a copy of a random card from the opponent's deck. Just mainly having the 2 damage is pretty cool. And the budding pickpocket, hothead 3, and on kill, get a random copy from the opponent's a card in the opponent's hand. Surprisingly okay. The extra cards I'm getting won't be that useful, because they'll cost more with the modifier. But just having some extra removal tools is pretty alright. And I'm not too worried about adding some extra cards to the deck and not being able to get my combos online, mainly because I can upgrade this with draw, and there is also a card in Ziggy's pool which says redeem a legendary minion. which means as long as I don't have more than 3 legendary minions, I can add a couple of those into my deck and just basically tutor out any missing legendary minion I need for my combo, which right now is only Mama Crab and Ziggy Stardust. So if I draw one and I have a couple of those redeem spells in my deck, then I can just get the other one. And then the only legendary minion I'm adding with this card pick is Wick, 7/7 dual strike, which costs less for every card from another faction I play this game. Not gonna be much. I mean, I'm gonna get a couple from the stab and grabs and the budding pickpocket. Actually, not to have one of those in the deck, because that specific spell I'm speaking of also bangs Glimmer equal to the card cost. So if this card costs 10, I'm getting 10 Glimmer, aka 10 armor. That's actually pretty hype. So yeah, definitely okay with picking up Wick. Gets me 100 gold as well. So yeah, for the battle, I guess I'm most likely going to this trinket shop. Is there any reason to go to the forge? I could put cannons on. Well, I guess I could technically put them on Ziggy Stardust, but I don't want to take up a trinket slot on him. And the next least expensive one would be Eve. And then my only pirate would be the budding pickpocket, so yeah, cannons are not that useful. Hothead could be okay for the brigade cadet, although this is probably like I'm gonna remove this eventually at a campfire. Wick could benefit from Hothead, I guess, if I do play him, but also there's nothing that desperately wants Hothead, and more elemental damage doesn't matter, so yeah, I'm definitely going to this trinket node. So let's just go right. And yeah, I do see Ritzy Trousers, Necrohammer, and Lucky Coin. Necrohammer is, I'm pretty sure, strictly worse than Ritzy Trousers for Ziggy. This one gives me 1 armor for each minion death. This one gives me armor for Glimmer. I'm definitely gonna get more Glimmer than I'm gonna get minion deaths. But I can add a Lucky Coin if I want. Lucky Coins would guarantee me a way to generate Glimmer, which with the lack of relic nodes might be necessary, but I also have that Wick, which can result in me getting like 10 Glimmer from a 1 mana card. So yeah, I think I'll just pick up the Ritzy Trousers. Can't go wrong with that on a Ziggy. And I guess if I find the trinkets I want immediately, I can go to 2 relic shops after the boss. So can either fight dinosaurs or groupies. I don't have any board wipe, so right now it's probably better to fight the groupies there. They both kind of want you to have a board wipe in the deck, but I think that groupies are a bit less threatening than dinosaurs. And I'm gonna card out that wig, and probably the budding pickpocket. Other ones are fine. Those Gobblegum whelps are definitely pretty weak on this map with the silence mask, where they lose their buffs and effects after an attack against the hero. So can be it. I don't want to play my Ziggy yet. Not sure if I need to remove something with him. Yeah, he's getting a lot of chip damage in with all those 1/1s. Can block this lane with a Glimmer bot. And I can block the groupie. I can get 7 armor if I want to, I don't need to. Is that S-rank gone? Not yet. And I think I have lethal. I can play Ziggy 3 times with 6 mana, and if I get 7 Glimmer, I can return him to hand every single time as well. So that's 1. That's 2. And 3. Alright, so there is Rancid Rupert, which I don't particularly care about. Hothead and gains buffs on kills. Redeem a card from another faction I also don't want, because I don't want cards from other factions, and this also gives me cards from other factions pretty much, like cards from the opponent, so don't want that. 2 Borg Blasters, pretty cool. Or 1 Borg Blaster and an Archduke Minimaghoul. So splurges everything to summon Royal Sentinels up to 3, which have guard, Dual Strike, Hothead. So if I play this on an old turn, I gain an 8/8 with 3 7/7s with Dual Strike, Hothead attached to them. I mean, that's a pretty big turn, although I don't really want to add a 3rd legendary minion. And Emporian Custodian, that's one of the starter cards. Get Glimmer when the enemy plays spells, not gonna matter that much. I'm just gonna pick up 2 Borg Blasters. And then, ooh, +1 draw. I definitely like. I think I'm willing to spend a reroll here. Because I want to find the mana reduction now and go to the campfire to get rid of the Gobblegum mobs. I do find it. It's a bit unfortunate that I see the 4-arm guards first. Because if I get the forearm guards and make this one cost, then it's not gonna. I'm not able to give it the -1 mana as well. That one only goes on 2 cost and less. But since I have the Mammoth Grub in the deck, that's okay. I do have one spell reduction, one cost reduction in the deck. So I think that this is absolutely fine. And then barrier and +1 power. I think barrier could be alright on the Glimmer bot. It's possible for them to give more Glimmer. +1 power. Don't particularly care about. And yeah, now I go to the campfire and get rid of the Gobogam webs. Scalp and Reki, another minion that wants me to have board clear in the deck. Oh well. Maybe Brigade traps will help me get some jump blockers out. One of the things I'm a little worried about regarding S-rank is how I'm gonna get the overkill. Like, I probably need to get an altered Mammoth Grub down and have an Eve or something, or maybe steal an enemy minion with the necessary power. So, ult is ready, so I have a steal. This was a bit of an unfortunate spawn. Because if Glimmer bot, Gearbot blocked the Scalp on Ricky, then the Scalp on Ricky would be dead now. Right now I have 6 damage on the board. This would only deal 4. Is there any... Oh, I have Ziggy to deal some extra damage. So yeah, I can play Ziggy twice, get him down to 2 HP. Wouldn't quite be enough. I can also target Scalp and Ricky once, and then Pilfer Pip will kill the Scalp and Ricky, deal 2 damage to Scalp and Ricky, the boss, not the card. That's his kill effect. So then he would be on 4, on 1, and 6 damage. Yeah, that would actually be enough. So I can get my minimum 5 overkill right this second. Also, just to make sure I can... still target Scalp and Ricky twice. And I guess for funsies, I'll just stab the groupie as well. Why not? Alright. So I believe... also... Huh, I have noticed that when I play Ziggy starters, I do tick up my ult as well. It's not quite enough to get the right cost, is it? I need to play him 5 times to get 7 and he spends 2. So it costs me 10 to get the ultimate back up. However, it does mean that on my big Ziggy turn I can get a bunch of armor, I guess, if I don't get Ziggy down with Mama Grub. Alright, so I got Ransack Rupert, don't care about that. I got Marauder Marina. So as you might have seen, there is this brigade mechanic. Cards like Brigade Cadet add a trap card into the opponent's deck, and when they draw it, they summon a Brigade Thief for you, and Marauder Marina has the effect that she is one of the cards that can be summoned if she's in your deck. And then if she kills something, she either buffs nearby minions or summons those Sproutlings. Can be alright if you give her Hothead. Without Hothead, it's kind of hard to get the Plunder off. Also Pearl for Pip. Yeah. Good to have in a Brigade deck, so you can buff him. 1-3 is kind of weak, but with Epic there are quite a few upgrades you can get. Double Cross is pretty cool. I can also add some neutral minions. Is there anyone I care about? Clone Curator would print a certain card, like shuffle copies of it into the deck. I guess it could like print Eves. I think is the most interesting one. Like Mama Grub, I'm not interested in printing because when I play Mama Grub, I'm hopefully have a Ziggy Stardust in hand already. Shield Scout gives me guard, which might be alright. Just for some extra stalling. I think I'll just pick up the double cross though. 4 damage in a cross shape. It's a pretty nice spell. Right now I'm missing a spell that can target multiple enemies at once. Now I can get some free money. And yeah, I can see his trinkets, get a discount at his trinket shops because I picked up Wick. I actually didn't know that Wick had a trait that let me do that, but yeah, Humorous gives you a discount and Wick has Humor, so pretty glad I picked up the Wick. Or I can get some Ruperts, but third time I'm seeing that guy, third time I don't want him. All I want is this. On played gain 3 Glimmer, so now he's actually Glimmer positive. Once I have 2 Glimmer to play him, but yeah. Usually, by the time I play him, like I want to play him on turn 6 when Mama Grub gets out, and by turn 6 I should have my ult. So I get my ult, I get 7 glimmer, I spend 2 of it to summon a extra big bird, and then I have 5 left to play the Stardust an infinite number of times. I don't think that there's anything else I'm interested in. I don't want to put Splurge on anything, because right now one of the things my ult does is draw me a Splurge card, which is either Ziggy, or Mama Grub, or Eve. So if I have 2 of those in hand, then the ult guarantees me that I get the desired card. And like spending 2 glimmer for +1/+1 is also not really worth it when 2 glimmer is worth 2 armor. I can make something deal more damage and make it add trap cards. Cool thing about trap cards is that they're yellow, so most of the time it's kind of annoying to get a 4-cost card on other factions, but here those traps might actually be worth playing. Oh, I guess the Bulk Blasters are splash too, so it's good that I can draw these though. +1 damage. I could put it on Ziggy so that if I don't see Mama Grub, the extra damage helps him to maybe finish the game still. How much would that cost me? 130. I could afford it. I could put it on the Stab and Grab. Or on the Double Cross. Full damage for 2 mana usually takes care of most things you want to kill at that stage of the game. I do not want to put this on Ziggy, I'm realizing. It adds a trap card to my hand. So if I play him 5,000 times, I'm gonna have 5,000 trap cards, and then I can't draw anything. I think that I should always get the Ziggy back before I get the trap card. Because most of the time card effects resolve before trinket effects. But yeah. If I don't play him as a game ender, it might be annoying to clog your hand with 5 billion traps. Kind of funny interaction though if you combine Ziggy with the trap deck. That's a synergy I haven't thought about. Like if I can make use of those traps with them giving me like extra stats or extra damage to the enemy hero, that could be a fun combo. So yeah, I think I'll just put it on the knife then. Some extra damage on the knife can't hurt. And then I can look for the relics. Only thing I'm missing now is to redeem a legendary minion. But yeah, other than that, I have Mama Grub in hand. I think I'll just hard mulligan to find the Ziggy. And I guess I'll just play the Brigade Cadets. Not really a reason to wait. I'm gonna generate a lot of cards. Like this gives me 2 cards. I have draw 2s in my deck. And I'm kind of happy if he spends all the spells on my 1/1s. I could Bolt Blaster this, but I don't have any Glimmer, so... Oh, I guess I'll take the most expensive one. If I get another Glimmer in hand, I can use this as a bolt clear. Uh, 9 cards in hand, so right now I can still draw something. Alright, let's see what kind of frost spell I can get. Get some thorns. Okay. Oh, actually I should not leave my hand at 9 because the brigade taps add cards to my hand. There's not really much to be done about it though. Yeah. So if I draw Ziggy now, that would be very unfortunate. I do not draw Ziggy right now. That's good. Guess I'll play those trap cards to get rid of them. I have all splurge cards except Ziggy in hand right now, so next turn I can ult and kill the enemy. I have normal grub in hand. I do eat a bomb before that happens, but the bomb triggers my crowd surfer. That's good, I suppose. Thankfully, I haven't lost a lot of health this fight, so the bomb does not matter. Wait, what? That's... Where's my Z? Play 5 minions, bank 7 Glimmer, and draw a card with Splurge. This guy has a Splurge. Well, don't know what exactly happened there, but... That's annoying. Well, at least I get my ult back up. I can just hardcast the Ziggy 10 times now. I got rid of the minion with guard. I'm still above the line in terms of HP. And yeah, it's 10 times 2 is more than 40. Getting up my ult once again. At this point, even if I don't draw Mama Grab with the amount of armor I get from one Ziggy cast is enormous. And let's just finish this off with Eve. So, I get brigade cards I don't care about, neutral cards I don't care about. Although this card is really good on any other map than this one. Dual Strike 8/8. For a lot of decks, it's just the best possible finisher you can have, especially if you're playing like some kind of control deck. But on this map, Dual Strike has no effect. Like, it still works against minions, but in terms of getting damage against enemy hero, it actually doesn't matter. Or I get a Pyreball, and Elder Goldsmith and Raining Knives. I do like Raining Knives. I have complained about a lack of board clear for like at least 3 fights now. Raining Knives is board clear, even though it's weak, but I do have some opportunities to see some buffs still. Goldswig is also board clear. Not my favorite one to take. But it is kind of important against the final boss, because the first couple of turns are going to consist of the boss playing a bunch of 1/1s that buff each other when one of them dies. So you need to take them out all at once, which this can definitely do. Although I don't remember if they have tough as a trinket. There was some point in the game where they had that, but I think also I remember that they removed that at some point as well. And I'm not happy about picking up Goldswig, but it might be necessary. And yeah, then I do wanna see a couple of relic shops. Does mean I'm only seeing one campfire. Campfire probably means remove Brigade Cadet. I do need to have enough minions in the deck to get that first ult cast. And if I remove the Brigade Cadets, that might be kind of hard to do. I do see another card shop though. I could also just go to 3 card shops and look for the redeem card. Although if I don't if I get the right relics, then I don't even need the old. I just need to play 1 minion before Ziggy Stardust, and then Glimmer Gearbot will be the enabler. Yeah. It's a bit scary having no real 1-drops, but even with a slow deck like that, it's totally fine. Or I get a Shroud Cloak, negate the next source of damage after your opponent draws an outcast card, so any kind of card you shuffle into the opponent's deck, like Brigade Traps. So I guess this would give me a reason to not remove those. However, 4 removals at once is a pretty big deal, because I do really need those Ziggies. Plus 5 health is pretty nice for S-rank purposes. Expensive minions cost less, doesn't matter, because I'm never... like, Wick just doesn't matter, at least in terms of playing him. After you trigger a Plunder, restore 2 health. Start of game, draw 2 1-cost minions, discard them at the end of the turn. So that might actually be quite alright. Means I can play those 2 Brigade Cadets. I would go to the shop, remove 2, and then I always just draw 2 Brigade Cadets at the beginning of the... although it can also draw Ziggy Stardust. And if Ziggy Stardust gets discarded, that's kind of disastrous. On Plunder, restore 2 health might be alright. I have the knives that give me plunder, and I have the pickpockets that give me plunder. After you play a spell, deal damage to a random minion. Is a thing, I guess, with the Glimmer. I want to keep my last relic slot open. And yeah, I have to go through Katana Guy. Alright, Ziggy in my starting hand, that's good. I think I'm fine with having this as well. Having Goldswig is useful in this fight. Lots of potential 1-drops that are gonna come out. Anything stronger I can get rid of with the Double Cross or the Bog Blaster. Chooses not to block my Brigade Cadet, which is actually a good move. Unfortunately. Oh, I can... if I draw another 2, I'll be at 9. So that would be fine. And then I can play Ziggy a couple of times, draw my Mama Grub, which means it's gonna be over pretty soon. Like turn 6, I can get my infinite. This will overdraw my next hand, but that absolutely doesn't matter. Because I have my Wincon in the hand already. Till this point, just kill everything on the board. Heart mages for healing. Can heal all you want. Didn't draw a splurge card again. I mean, the hand was full, but I wonder whether the draw effect even occurs. What's well, I guess I don't have any splurge left in the deck now, but summon Mama Crab, reduce the cost of legendary minions to by 1, so for Ziggy to 0. And now I just have to play this a million times. Yeah, so 6 more casts. And the enemy boss has 45 HP, so that's gonna be quite a bit of time I'll be spending on playing that card. Alright, I get potentially another copying of Raining Knives, some brigade cards I don't care about, potentially a whole set of removal tools. I think all 3 of those are alright add. I have 2 more rerolls, so I could potentially put some draw trinkets or some of the spells. Raining Knives has already some inbuilt draw. And yeah, for not taking a billion damage in the first 3 turns, it is gonna be important to have some board clear in the deck. And I find not the redeem cards I want to see. I do find another Mama Crab. Instead of removing Brigade Cadet, I could also buy a Mama Crab and clone a Ziggy. I think that will actually increase my chances of drawing the 2. Just because it basically doubles their density in the deck, and this does not do that. There's also Pyro Aces. I don't think I need those. Melody Cannon is kind of cool as well. Triggers on the Glimmer cards. But yeah, I have a whole plan going on here. Any removes? I'm still fine with having 1 wick in the deck, in case I do end up seeing that that redeem card. I might even spend my rerolls on the card rewards. There's nothing too critical in terms of trinkets. I think the deck is functional without the last relic, like the Glimmer relics. I think the only thing missing is to improve the consistency and potentially sustain, both of which I would get from that particular card. So, second Ziggy. And boss time. This guy could screw up my infinite setup. Because that bird needs space to spawn. But yeah, I'll keep the draw, I'll keep the damage. And yeah, I'll just get my glimmer bots going. Unfortunately, it gets silenced. Reason why I didn't want to play him in front of the minion where he would avoid the silence for another turn is that I wanted to leave every column with 2 open spaces alone. I guess that doesn't matter anymore. That means I can bulk beam this guy. Alright, first piece of the compass on the board. I can also walk on this one. Unfortunately, I don't have any glimmer generation anymore, so this glimmer, this Borg Blaster will not return, but I have a second one in my hand, so Borg. Poison. Kind of annoying on this map with extra costs, but I can actually kill that poison plant right now. And he does have that flying minion. Why did it not show up earlier? That's weird. I don't have any more generation. I'll just bulk beam this guy. Get some kills. Get my ult ready. Eight cards in hand. Got a couple of splurges in the deck. Unfortunately, not the right one. Would have been cool if I had the space to play a contender. Although no, the contender would have been killed by the system all week. Never mind. Alright. That didn't do anything. Let's destroy that. Yeah, that's a lot of Sprout Guardians I had to deal with this fight. It could have been scary if I didn't draw the right cards in time. So place down the bowler now. This fight could drag on for a while, but with the card advantage I have, I should get this rather soon. I do have 2 mammoth grubs, notably. I think I will play one of them right now and try my luck at getting a Ziggy. Right, got a Book Blaster instead. Again, guess I can play a Wick. At this point, oh, I do get the Ziggy. And I don't have the Glimmer though. So, guess I'll play a couple of minions. Oops. Not enough mana. Oh. Wait, what? He did dual strike. I've tested this out beforehand. Before when I tried it and a minion dual strikes and hit the enemy, they lose their second hit. But this one seemed to hit twice. That's weird. And I do get the S-rank bounty. That's very good. So S-rank bounty, redeem a copy of a legendary minion in your deck, bank Glimmer equal to its cost. I even get a -1 mana on this. That's awesome. So if I have Ziggy or Mama Crab and I draw this, I can get the other one. I can also just take a Wig for 10 Glimmer, aka 10 armor. Cool thing is that Glimmer also immediately manages to give me all of the splurge effects from those cards that I need. So that's a really cool thing. Alternatively, double stats Heister Henry is also kind of not bad. A 6/2 with barrier for 4 mana with a plunder effect. That's yeah, definitely usable, but S-rank bounty is what I've been looking for this time. Also, membership card with draw and get it at the start of game. Okay, very beefy archer guy. Okay, yeah. Now I want to take one last look at the trinket shop. After you bank Glimmer, bank 1 more. That's definitely pretty good. It means that Glimmer can immediately enable Ziggy Stardust. It also means that Ziggy Stardust just adds an insane amount of Glimmer, aka armor. So makes that a very good play even without the infinite. Alternatively, I can get a Hexbreaker, silence and destroy all enemy minions. Also not bad to have in the deck. If I didn't find those raining knives, I might actually want to pick that up for safety. Mimicking is whatever. Random card from the opponent's hand for 3 mana. Remember the extra mana cost on other colors on this map. Yeah. Not necessary with the card generation and card draw I have in the deck. So this is definitely a high roll I had. Maybe a Witch's Wardstone for some runs. And then I can see a trinket shop with 2 rerolls. Start of game, draw this. Oh, I am very happy that I did not put that trinket on Ziggy Stardust, because now, guess what? I get us at the first turn of the game. That is awesome. +1 damage. I can put those on the knives. +1 draw. I can put this on the Book Blast. It would mean no more rerolls. Let's reroll. I have a bit of money. Ooh, inanimate. Inanimate's pretty cool for the Glimmer Gear bot. Means they finally stop silencing themselves. And let's reroll my time. +2 damage. Is there anything I haven't damaged buffed like this? Oh, I could put this on the double cross. It's probably my best option. Hot Hat doesn't really have any applications. And yeah, +2 damage. Although I only have the money for +1 damage. So +1 damage it is. Alright. I think, yeah, with that Nimble Ribbon, I'm feeling pretty confident about this. So I get the S-rank bounty, which means I can redeem the Mama Grub once the time is right. Or I can also just get 10 armor at the start of the game. That should also be totally fine. I don't think I need Eve that early on. I think the game is over before Eve will be of any use. Like, reason why I picked up Eve at the beginning is because Eve can deal with the huge dinosaurs. She's gonna play at 10 mana and 9 mana, but the game is not gonna last that long. And yeah, Glimmerbot is fine, Double Cross is fine. And I get a second Ziggy Stardust. And I think I'm actually not gonna play anything this turn. Because the more mana I have, the more often I can play Ziggy Stardust. That is my bottleneck before the infinite. And the more often I play Ziggy Stardust, the more armor I get. So I think I just want to pass. And then remove anything he plays with Ziggy on my next turn. I only have one Glimmer in hand that enables Ziggy, so now I can do it the next turn again. So yeah. And guess they do have a health up. They used to have tough, which is oftentimes much worse, but yeah. That means if he gets another Razorwood Sprout, it's gonna be a bit sad, but he doesn't. I think I'll play the Glimmer bot clear. Glimmer Gear bot. Right now I'm taking 4, that is completely fine, and I kind of want to make a little bit of hand space. Yeah, also now the raining knives become very efficient. Which would matter if I didn't have Ziggy Stardust, although maybe it still matters. 4 plays means not enough to clear everything out. So yeah, Raining Knives. Take care of all this. And get a little bit extra armor. Right. So 7 is the magic turn where I can finish this off, or next turn if I play the S-rank bounty now. Which I don't think there's any reason not to do it. Yeah, Mumble Grub. So, next turn, she gets out. Glimmer Gearbot gives me... Well, actually, she just eats the Glimmer generated by Glimmer Gearbot, but I have both the ultimate up and I have another Glimmer in hand. So that means I'll have both the mana and the money to play Ziggy to finish the game. And yeah, 17 armor. Even if I didn't have that infinite, like, Ziggy scales extremely well with cost reductions and his own relics. Is that a problem? I think that one might actually be a problem. Because I'm pretty sure they kill him before he can return to hand. So yeah, I'm actually gonna have to knife those and hope he doesn't have more of these. I can play a Brigade Cadet so I can draw a card next turn. Alright. So reason why I had to remove that thing before is because it damages all minions whenever any minion is played. And I'm not quite sure about the order. Like, does this card fully resolve and get back into my hand before it can deal damage? But I guess I could have tested it out since I have two Ziggies in hand. Maybe would have been valuable information to know for the future, but like, I definitely would have been able to deal that 2 damage. I know that's always a thing. I've tried that out with other minions, but I'm not sure if like that splurge effect would still happen. So. Alright. I have to get rid of the Poppysaur before I start attacking Sarella, otherwise that Poppysaur is gonna make me deal 1 damage at a time. And yeah, now I'm gonna be here for a while. Yeah, it did try to draw whatever that was. I wonder why that Ziggy didn't get drawn. Was that a bug, or did I miss anything? almost tempted to just end turn and see just having 80 plus armor. It does make me wonder. On the first map there's this enemy which has a relic that says when you reach your 10th turn, kill the enemy hero. But the way it's animated, what it does, it deals you 99 damage. And if it's just 99 damage, it could mean that you can actually just tank the hit if you have some way of generating armor. The main issue would be finding enough targets for Ziggy to actually get to that number, because that enemy has way less than 45 health. You can target your own things with Ziggy. It specifies like deal 2 damage to an enemy. Alright, Brigade Cadet, you can have this one. And turn 111 armor, 151 points of health basically. Incredible. So yeah, S rank achieved. Like, with this setup, it's pretty much... I mean, it's an infinite, right? So... pretty much destroys every boss on this map. Doesn't work on other maps, so I think it's okay to be in the game, since you do need to get that gain glimmer on plate buff. Yeah. I do like the Glimmer deck quite a bit. Even if you don't do broken shit like this, there's some good stuff in there. Once I unlocked cards for it, it was my main deck in the yellow campaign as well. But yeah, next time I'll be fighting Kazoo, who is gonna play a lot of minion spam. And those minions will spawn other minions, which will then deal random damage. Which can be, like, the damage part of it can be pretty easily countered. With the Doggy Biscuit. Also Thorns is gonna be really good against this guy, and then all I have to do is like find some way of sustain, like lifesteal or something. And slowly whittle him down. Rez definitely is a pretty good pick against that guy. She likes using the Thorns anyway. Probably not gonna make use of the Doggy Biscuit, the minus elemental damage. However, she also isn't bothered by the random damage, because it only goes to minions, and Rez doesn't play a lot of minions. She does have a couple of board clear spells. There's the Hellfire and Ancient Lullaby. Ancient Lullaby in particular for the silence effect is pretty useful. I'm not going to be using Restore. I already showed Rez in, I think, the Dawn video. Yeah, Dawn was Rez, Minimogul was Juniper, and Ziggy the Sea-Spot Pier. Instead, like, having any some form of tough, it's pretty good. Maybe I do Evolve. Evolve also works well with Thorns, because you evolve minions into weaker minions. And then they die more easily to Thorns, and Parsley has stuff. I haven't tried Evolve in this series yet, and this is one of his maps. Like, there's a node that is Specially made for him. Yeah, let's see. Rake has a lot of tough minions in its pool, but isn't very good on this map. I could see using Nilmi. Nilmi has a number of board clears. Maybe like a spell-based Nilmi to avoid the random pyro damage. I'll see. Well, see you next video.